All right. So we have to switch Rooney over to a Zoom call because Facebook is acting up. So that's fine. It's kind of fitting because my goal is to help you learn a new way to interact with the energies in you that present resistance or that are stuck in repetitive loops of thinking or of ways to try to, how can I say this, not deal with processing emotions that are lodged in the body. So, you know, and these parts of us do tend to act up sometimes, especially when we want to go in there and do some deeper healing. So the three-step system that I use is very, very simple. And if that can help you come to a place where you realize that the only steps you really need to do to get back into your heart are these 3 steps, then you have freed your mind from this state of excessive trying to, you know, find the solution and seek this new thing and what about this and how does that work and and it's like most of us, we're stuck in that loop. It's just like it's never ending because your mind is trying to find a solution to what it considers to be a problem. But in reality, what's going on is at a level underneath its ability to understand. And so I'm gonna have to unmute people as they come on. Yeah, okay. And so what happens is that our mind is looping and looping and trying to find a solution and trying to come back to feeling safe and calm. And it can't stop doing that because what it is seeking to resolve isn't happening at the same level. Some of it is deep in the body, like deep in the body before 7 years old. And it is pre-linguistic in many ways. And some of the other stuff is more in the emotional field. And either way, once you are working with pure physical sensations or emotional flows of energy, your mind isn't in the right terrain to understand what to do. So what we want to, I'm just muting people as they come on, sorry. So what we want to do is we actually want to help your mind calm down. You reclaiming yourself as the steward of your consciousness is the ultimate medicine for your mind. I worked with a shaman about a month ago, and he just said the most beautiful thing. It's like we all know it, but sometimes it's just said in a way that you're like, oh. And he said, silence. Silence is the best medicine for your mind. Like, silence is the best medicine for your mind. Your mind doesn't know that though. Your mind is busy trying to find a solution, trying to find a resolution, trying to find this. Where's this happening? Why is this going on? No. And it can't stop until you come back online. You, the consciousness, you come back online. And that's what this 3-step system that I like to work with does. I love this system, so I'm going to get a little bit excited, and it's definitely my higher mind going like, hey. So when people come on, they need to mute themselves. I'm not too sure how to make sure that happens automatically. Please, when you come on, take the time to mute yourself, please. Okay, so this 3-step system, it's very, very simple. Hear with your mind. Feel it with your body. And then listen in with your soul. Hear with your mind. Feel with your body. Listen with your heart. Listen within the space of your heart. What this looks like, how can I explain this? The hearing is the key here. We don't want to tell your mind, oh, bug off, go away, please. I'm trying to do something. That doesn't work. That just freaks it out even more and makes it like yappity yap even more. So what we want to do is we want to hear. We want to hear what's going on in our minds, but we don't want to listen. And this is a key distinction. When we listen, we are completely involved in it. When we listen, we are literally giving all the power of our energy field to something, which means that listening is one of the most powerful things you can do. And it also means that if you are allowing all of your being to be the one listening to the mind, you're being hijacked by fear and you're being hijacked by limited thinking. And we don't want to do that. So we want to hear it. You want to hear what's going on in your mind. And I don't mean like everything going on in your mind. I mean the repetitive loops, the things that keep coming up. It's like, oh, look, it's going there again. You know, you're hearing it. You're not listening to it like, oh, it's true. I gotta be careful about that. That could help, that could happen, that could this, that could that. We don't want to do that anymore. We do not want to hijack our system by listening to our mind. We want to hear what's going on in there. Acknowledge that we hear it. I hear you. I hear you. And then you want to go into your body, because the thought happening in your mind is trying to find a solution to something that's happening at another level altogether. So we drop into the body, and the body is where we feel. The body is where the emotions are. The body is where the meeting point of the frequency of a thought you're having and the frequency it creates within your body. That's where that happens. Your body can't lie. That's a very interesting concept. Your body cannot lie. Your body is an absolute calibrator showing you the frequency of what you're thinking. Imagine that. Tola used to say it like this. He said, emotions are your body's response to your thoughts. Kind of the same idea. So these 3 steps, once again, we hear what's going on. You hear the chatter. You hear the repetitive thinking. You hear the fear speaking. I shouldn't do that. That's dangerous. And you hear it. You're like, okay, let's go into the body so I can feel that in my body. Where is that in my body? What does that feel like in my body? And the second you start doing that, the second you start dropping your attention into your energy field, into your body, you are no longer only looping in the mind and the mental sphere. And this is already an enormous step in terms of reclaiming a deeper center to your being than just like floating around in your head. But that's step 2, though. That's only step 2. You want to drop into your body and feel where that is. And step 3 is you go even deeper into yourself. You go into your heart space, because that is the place from which you want to listen. That is the place from which you want to completely open up your field to receiving what's happening in your body. When this is done, when this happens, what you're holding in your body finally feels safe. It's so incredible to experience this, because you come to understand that your mind has been working overtime since you're like a child, a young child, working overtime to figure out how to make sure that you can be safe, how to make sure that you stay safe. Oh, that emotion's not safe to feel. Okay, stop feeling that. Okay, that's not safe. So, and then we just go through life accumulating and accumulating and accumulating all these mind rules about how we are to be safe. And the deepest truth is that no part of you feels safe until you have fully come back to it and are holding it and listening to it, listening to what it's holding, listening to what it's feeling. I'm just letting that sink in, because like for me, that already starts expanding the heart space. Because your heart is where your being is. Your heart is where your soul resides. Your heart is where you can consciously feel your connection to all of life. Like it's the center of your being. This is where you want to live. And the more you learn to live from the space of your sacred heart, the more the mind can finally receive the ultimate medicine, the medicine of silence, the medicine of you. It's almost like you're saying, hey, I get it, I understand. Let me come back to center so that you may rest. Like, how tired are our minds? They're like running 24/7. Even when you're sleeping, it's still. The more you come back to being that conscious steward of your energy field, and the center of your energy field is your heart, the more the rest of you can come into alignment. The more the rest of you can start feeling safe. And that's what we want. We want to feel safe. But that safety is not in the mind. The mind receives it from you as you learn to live within the space of your sacred heart. So I want us to play around with this a little bit today, but first I want us to experience what it's like to be in a deeper alignment than we're used to being. Because most of us, most of the time, are, well, not all of us, because some of us have been doing this work for a long time. A lot of humans are floating in their headspace most of the time. So they're not properly centered. It's like there's too much energy up in the headspace. And that doesn't allow you to feel centered, because that's not the center of your being. So every time I do this event, I always talk about this process called the triple heart connection. And just doing this on a regular basis can already have a drastic impact on your ability to feel safe, going deeper into feeling your emotions. This triple heart alignment is very simply like, I want you to imagine like there is a line of energy, a line of pure light that goes through you. It comes down from the heart of God. It enters through your crown. It follows your entire central line, goes through each of the major energy centers, the brain, the throat, the heart, the plexus, the sacral, the root, and it continues down all the way into the heart of the earth. And I want to explain something here. That connection is always there. It's not like you ever really stop being connected to earth and being connected to the source of creation. But for us to consciously cultivate that feeling amplifies that connection. It allows more of your body and your cells and your mind to experience it. And I call it the triple heart connection because we are connecting your heart. We are making sure that your heart is aware that it is deeply connected to the heart of the earth. It is grounded into the heart of the earth. And it is anchored into the heart of God. And just notice how just that starts amplifying your ability to feel your heart space. You are connected to the heart of God. You are connected to the heart of Gaia. You are held and you are loved. And imagine that some of that earth energy comes up into you. You know, the earth feeds the lower chakras, and that cosmic divine energy flows down into you. That feeds the higher chakras. And it all meets in the heart. It all meets within the heart space. Your heart space is where earth and sky, mother and father blend. Your heart is where your soul resides as the divine child. So this is the triple heart connection. So simple. And connected from here, let's just explore this three-step system. Just anything happening in your life right now that you are aware is a repetitive pattern, is something that, you know, annoys you or makes you sad, generates some kind of emotion. Just take a second to hold that thought in your mind. And your goal here is hearing it. We're not giving all of our power and all of our energy to it. We are hearing it. And then drop into your body. Where is the frequency of that thought held in your body? And the more you learn to do this, the more it's going to get precise. Maybe you feel something kind of like it's kind of diffuse. Maybe you feel a very specific point. Maybe it feels like it might be a little bit all over the place. That's fine. None of these are bad answers. You learning how to feel into your subtle energy is a beautiful process of discovery, and allow it to be fun, allow it to be an adventure. So where is that held in your body? What does that energy feel like in your body? And the trick here is you're not trying to do that with your mind. You're not trying to do that with your mind. It's like you're just allowing your consciousness to bring its attention into your entire body. Right? Step one is being aware of the thought that you're aware is repetitive or that generates emotions. That's step one. Step two, you drop into, it's almost like gravity. Just allow your conscious awareness to start focusing on the entire body, not just one thought, just the entire body. And then notice. I'll give an example, because for me, what I'm noticing is I'm feeling something. I'm feeling a tight energy that's a little bit lower on the right from my heart space. That's an example. It could also be, you could be feeling I think I'm feeling someone else's thing here, but it could be something that feels like, it feels like a weight on the shoulders. It could also feel like uh, a tightness that's squeezing in the plexus. It could also feel like something in your throat. So this part is the body awareness and really giving yourself permission to feel what that feels like. Our bodies talk in different ways. So maybe some of us, sometimes we can almost like hear. It's more like we hear it, or we see a color, or, and that's okay too. You can't do this wrong. You learning to feel where you are holding the effect of thoughts in your body, unique to each of us. And you might notice sometimes when you really start feeling it, and it will amplify the feeling, because the feeling, that energy in you is like, yay, you're here. Yay, I'm not alone anymore. But it amplifies. And then often that'll trigger your mind to want to protect you. And we just kind of remind ourselves, thank you so much thank you, mind, for doing that. Hear the thought and stay in the body, stay with the feeling. And something really amazing happens when whatever is felt in your body becomes more and more aware that you are actually willing to stay there. You are actually willing to not run away or distract yourself or go back in your mind. You're willing to stay there with it. Like a loving mother would hold her child while it was crying without trying to make it stop crying. It's just holding the space. This is where it gets interesting. Because then we receive it with our hearts. Sorry, I just need to mute whoever's. So as we open our heart, as we listen to that feeling with our heart, that is when it knows, oh my God, it's safe for me to come out. And this is what you want to do. You want to learn to be this loving steward. To hear the thought, to drop into the body, feel where that is, and then hold it. Hold it. This is what we do when we listen with our heart. All of our being becomes focused on holding that energy and letting it know, I'm here. I'm here. And it's like the mind, I can hear the mind. It's like, okay. And then what do I do? Now, what do I do? It's like, well, first of all, you're not doing anything other than observing this process, because this is what's going to finally allow you to feel safe enough to stop being stuck in that loop. What you're doing is you are being, you're not thinking, you are being. You are the being that is being with that feeling. You are the consciousness that is holding space for that feeling to feel safe. And you have no agenda. There's no agenda. The agenda, that's like strategy, mental stuff. There's no agenda other than just holding it and loving it and letting it know, I'm right here. I'm right here, and I'll stay with you however long you need me to. You know you're doing this when your heart space becomes more and more, what I'm looking for, full. It's almost like we're so used to being in our heads that then when we do understand and feel what it's like to be in the heart, holding the body, holding the mind, the heart can finally open up more and more and more and more. When you hold energies in you through the field of the sacred heart, these energies finally feel safe enough some of them will feel safe enough to let go what they're holding. Other energies feel safe enough to simply melt. It's very important to understand you're not melting parts of you. Our goal is to bring all parts back to center, all parts back into the heart, all parts integrated into the sacred space. But what melts is what they're holding. What melts is what's been keeping them stuck or contracted or trapped. And notice how the mind has been stuck in a loop for so long, trying to seek what it cannot find, trying to find the solution to something that's not even a problem. It tends to interfere, but you have to understand that that's just, consider that it's kind of like a scared child that's not sure what's going on. So it keeps asking and asking and asking her. And we just, even that you hold from the space of your sacred heart. And I promise you that eventually the mind does calm down, because it sees that you have come back as the steward. I want to do a little meditation. These are supposed to be 45-minute calls, and it's very hard for me to do. I just want to do a 10-minute meditation with you. And what was coming in today was to work with the violet flame, which is a beautiful, beautiful energy. And I just want to say something about the color violet for those of you that that might have heard about the violet flame, but don't necessarily know what it's about. The color violet, it's like think like a kind of like magenta mixed in with purple. Like it's a very high frequency magenta energy. The violet flame is the flame of truth. It is the flame in which nothing can hide what it truly looks like. Sometimes it's used in the advanced alchemy work in order to see the nature of what you're interacting with, to see if it is a light being or if it is a lower frequency. But in the case of us, in the case of what is held within our body that is ours, what is held in our body that needs to receive our love, what that violet flame does is it allows you to finally see clearly that these energies are just seeking your love. They just so need you to come back home. They cannot find their way back until you are back in your heart, because you call them in from there. So I want you to visualize that there is a violet flame within your heart. We're all doing it together. We all have a violet flame within our heart. And the container I've created for us during this event is a very big violet sphere. And we are all within that sphere right now. And I want you to set your intention for this week, to set your intention for how you want to live the rest of your life. I want you to decide that you want to be a force of healing in this world, to be a vessel of love and a pillar of light, able to receive all the love that has always been there for you. It just needed you to come home. It just needed you to come home to receive it. So be within that violet flame in your heart. Deep, deep, deep in your heart, where the truth has never been forgotten. Allow the frequency of this flame. You know, it's like how flames have an aura around them. Allow the aura of that flame, a beautiful translucent violet light, allow it to expand. Allow it to expand into all of your body, your cells, your tissues, your muscles, your DNA structure, your mind. Such a pure intention. I'm coming home. I'm coming home to the love that I am. I'm coming home into my heart so that all parts of me can find their way back to safety. The more you come online as the steward of this vessel, this beautiful body vessel that you get to be in right now, that can either be hijacked by fear in the mind or can be embodied, can be used by your soul and by love. And that's the intention of this week. And it's like, it almost makes me want to cry. It's like, I am ready and willing to allow my soul to have more and more room within me. That's the job we're here to do. We are here to embody our soul. And let that violet light, that loving, loving violet light, let all parts in you know that they don't need to be afraid. They don't need to be afraid anymore. As you learn to come back to love, as you learn to come back to living within your heart space, they will all be able to find their way back home. And they will all be celebrated. The aura of that violet flame within your sacred heart, let it expand even more. Let it expand into all of your aura. Because we don't only carry parts of us that need to find their way back home are not only carried within the physical body. Some of them are floating around in the auric space. So as a group, we're doing this. It's a beautiful intention. We are expanding the aura of the violet flame throughout all of our aura, throughout all of our energy bodies. The message is the same. Come home to love. And if emotions come up, rejoice, rejoice. That is old grief that finally feels safe enough to come up to the heart to be loved and received. And that is some of the most beautiful. These are the most beautiful tears. They are the tears of the grief leaving as the joy comes back. Yes. You might even notice that that violet flame within the heart has a pulsation. And that pulsation is in harmony with the heartbeat of your human heart. and of the heart of Gaia and the heart of God. That triple heart connection. Feeling the glow of that violet flame all the way through your aura, all the way into the boundary of your aura. Yeah, that's nice. You are coming home to the truth and the violet flame. Violet is the color of truth. It is the frequency of truth. And the truth is that you are whole. Oh yeah, feel that in the field. Feel that in your field. As you hold that in your heart, I am whole. Oh, this is such a nice place, such a nice space to be in. Mm. I want you to expand the glow of that violet flame even further than your aura and its boundary, allowing it to expand beyond your body and your energy bodies, your aura, the boundary of your aura, beyond. You want to fill all the space of this divine container that we're in right now. It is a big violet sphere, and you are all within it. And we all amplify it together. We all allow the violet light and the violet flame to work through us, to bring us back to the truth. And this is a wonderful place for you to let any part of you know right now. If you need to come see me, if you feel safe enough to come see me right now, I would be so honored to hold you. Come back to my heart. And remember that triple heart connection, because we're going to use it for a couple of breaths just to help to integrate and solidify the work that we're doing right now. I want you to imagine that inhaling is a process through which you are bringing up the earth energy, the energy from the heart of the earth up into your heart, and the energy of the heart of God down into your heart. Both at once. You inhale from the top and the bottom. You inhale from the heart of Gaia and the heart of God. You inhale and you bring that into your heart. You bring that into the heart of your soul. allowing that to blend and mix, allowing yourself to remember the Divine Mother and Father, the earth and sky, bringing it back into your heart. And when you're ready with exhales, just very, very gently and softly, you're just allowing that to expand into you, into your field, into the entire field of the violet sphere that we're all in. This is the state we wish to cultivate. It is a state of a calm mind, a relaxed body, and an open heart. Beautiful. So just, I want you to decide right here and now that you are held in this container for the rest of the week. It's not going anywhere. I continue to feed it. I hold it. I hold you. I love this. This is my work. I love this. And I could just keep going for another hour. So I have to rein myself in sometimes because I can go really deep. And I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. You are held in this container. Let that violet flame continue. Continue its work within your heart. Let any emotions, anything that needs to come up, be welcomed. And just remember, you hear it with your head, you drop into your body, you go feel, where is that in my body? And once you can really feel it, then you just offer it. You offer it your love, you offer it the frequency of your heart. And you let it know, I'm here and you're safe and I'm not going anywhere. And the more that you live true to that, the more that you actually do stay there and hold them, the faster they will trust you. And that's all that we're missing. That's all that's missing for us to experience very, very deep levels of healing, is for all the systems within you to trust that it's really true. You're really coming back home. You are really becoming the steward centered in your heart. And then the mind can relax. So just FYI, I will continue to increase the frequency of that container all week. So hope you enjoy it. And if you're like, why am I so emotional? What's going on? Don't worry. That's good. That's good. And just come back to remember that. Hear what's going on in your head, drop into your body, and then listen with your heart. Listen with your heart. There's no judgments there. It's pure listening, pure being. Yay. So that was day one. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. I'm just going to do it Zoom calls for the rest of the week because I'm not going to trust Facebook Lives to to be my friend this time alone. Thank you so, so, so much. Thank you for joining. Let's have some fun. I'll post a little resume of what we did today in the group, and feel free to comment and share anything you want to. Your process of sharing is as much for you as it is for others, because by you sharing, you're bringing it out of you, out of the inside of you into the world. And that allows the parts of you that are more focused on the outside to receive the work as well. And it's also wonderful for others, because the more we share, the more we start realizing that we're all connected and we're all one. And we really are here to share. We're here to share our light. So give me about 5 minutes and I'll have a little post where you can share. And thank you so much. And I will see you tomorrow at 2 p.m. again.